Tonya Mosley, and welcome to King County at your service. Technology is changing the way we live. For instance, how often do you drive anywhere now without using a phone app or navigation system? Well, as Kimberly Hill tells us, that same technology is now helping police on the ground and in the air.
Unlike many patrol units, this team doesn't worry about rough terrain or heavy freeway traffic.
We can fly all up and down the county and be from one end of the county to the next in 10 minutes.
This is King County's Air Support Unit, call sign Guardian 1.
Our mission is to enhance safety for anybody and everybody on the ground.
That means search and rescue missions in steep mountain terrain, tactical missions helping SWAT teams get to scenes quickly, and of course, helping patrol units from around the region find suspects.
Guardian 1 Federal Way, I'm over that foot pursuit and I've got the guy.
Guardian 1 is equipped with a thermal camera and night vision goggles.
Just hid behind the bushes in front of a house.
But we can quickly check yards and under bushes and on the other side of the fence. That's going to take the patrol guys hours to check.
But even with all these high-tech systems and sensors, until now, Guardian 1 had to rely on old-fashioned navigation. But this is changing things. It's a new Churchill navigation system.
It's an augmented mapping system that takes what used to be in an old Thomas guide and overlays it on video.
Video and map overlays that can be seen in real time on screen in the aircraft. Now when calls come in, an address or coordinate is simply typed in.
It would draw a red line to where that target is, and it gives you a satellite overview of what that residence looks like. So I can switch between a different map here to the aircraft, so the pilot knows when he leaves here he's got to fly towards the red line to get there.
A digital map that is cutting response time.
Before we had this mapping system, you could spend an orbit or two in the air, which could be valuable time trying to find the right house. The guy could have been long gone by then.
Not anymore. The system not only guides the pilot to the scene more quickly, it enables the tactical flight officer to get more accurate information out faster to ground units, improving efficiency and safety for everyone.
We say, for example, hey, this person's running from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th Avenue. Then we go like, well, how'd they know that? Well, we have the address right here.
It's also a big help in navigating around obstacles in more rugged terrain.
We do on average about 20 rescue missions in the mountains using a Huey. I would say maybe 3 or 4 of them are at night under night vision.
We're taking them into custody right now. Code 4.
This thing will show everything on there. It shows current power lines where they're marked at, elevations of hills and stuff like that.
We're a regional asset that supports the entire region. With the water and the mountains and the density of the population, we tend to stay pretty busy.
A digital onboard navigation system for one of the busiest teams out there.
It's really nice. Makes the job a lot easier.
Con artists are coming up with new and devious ways to steal your identity. But now there's a new way to fight back. Charlie Hinckley tells us about a statewide campaign called Scam Jam.
How much money did you lose?
$300,000.
At least $40,000.
Then I sent $2,000. Then I sent $3,000.
You got money, I got a way to take it from you.
No one expects to be the victim of a scam, but everyone should be on the alert because fraud is a billion-dollar industry. Most people don't see it coming.
You know, a lot of people assume that victims of investment fraud are frail or gullible or isolated, that they're very trusting and that they believe. It's true that cons use persuasion to earn the trust of their targets, but they use persuasion to do so much more. So it's really a pretty complex psychological event that's going on.
If you tell me that you're a veteran of World War II, well, great, sir, I'm a veteran of Desert Storm. You know, we've got something in common. So you always look for an angle with the victim to legitimize what you're doing and to make yourself more believable.
It takes awareness to say no to scams, and that's the focus of AARP's new Fraud Watch Network.
This is kind of like Block Watch in that we're encouraging people to not only get training, but to take this information out to their neighbors and share it with them. We're also encouraging people to sign up for a network, an email network, where law enforcement will send out alerts periodically to them.
Although anyone can be a victim of fraud, older adults are often targeted. They've worked a lifetime, so they may have money. They tend to want to help people, and they're new to the internet.
So you really have to be careful with trust on the internet. That's hard.
At a recent launch event for the Fraud Watch Network, seniors gathered at Seattle's Museum of Flight to learn what to watch out for and how to say no to scams.
I talked about 4 scams this morning. The sweetheart scam, where you meet somebody on the internet that's not going to be a friend. The valuables scam, where somebody tries to sell you something that's valuable for cash and it really isn't. The ask for information scam that we hear so much about. Don't give up your personal information. And the person that's claims to be a relative that's had some misfortune and they're not really a relative. Stop, hang up, talk to somebody else that you can trust before you respond to any of these.
What I'm going to really focus on today is sort of getting inside the mind of the con man himself or herself.
Persuasion is the strongest tool used by con artists. If you don't know what's happening, it's hard to resist.
The crush or the kill is emotionally driven. It's not logic. If you apply logic to this concept, it's no. I'm not going to send you my hard-earned money. I don't even know who you are. I know you from Adam. When I wrap that in tons of emotion, that blurs. The logic goes out the window, the emotion kicks in. Now I've endeared you to me. Now I'm no longer the predator on the phone. I'm Jim from New York.
So it's important to remember, persuasion is all around us. What you need to do is step out, get back into your logical brain, ask questions, and delay making a decision.
To protect against this kind of fraud, find out if the salesperson is actually registered to sell securities. FINRA Broker Check is a source for that information. Check to see if the product being sold is registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission. And if you spot a scam, report it.
Many of the cases that we bring, consumer protection cases we bring, are the direct result of phone calls that come from consumers.
Hello, my name is Ann and I'm calling from the AARP Scam Jam.
People who sign up with the Fraud Alert Network receive alerts about scams, and they'll be asked to report anything suspicious to AARP's Fraud Fighter Call Center.
Oh, hi Susan, my name's Bob Ferguson. I'm your Attorney General here in Washington State. How are you today?
And so the first check is, are you licensed?
Good. Hey, sorry to bother you, but just wanted to call because I'm part of a volunteer group, and what we're doing is calling out to seniors around the state just to make sure they watch out for scams when people call them up on the phone.
The goal is to make Washington State and King County the hardest place in the country to defraud consumers.
It doesn't cost any money to do this. We're not going to send people any solicitations. The only thing they're really going to get are alerts, just like a Block Watch alert. That's really what this is about. That's the big idea.
Thank you very much. We had a lovely day.
Callers can contact AARP's Fraud Watch Network toll-free at 1-800-646-2283 or aarp.org/fraudwatchnetwork.
How do you get a kid who's gotten in some trouble back on track? Well, a unique public-private partnership offers jobs, help with school, and as John Yeager tells us, mentors to help along the way.
It's another weekday morning here at the Youth Source Center in South King County, and Kiana Davis is showing her class how to write a poem.
Okay, Desire, how would you describe yourself?
Unique. That's 16-year-old Desire Lyons.
What I want you to do is I want you to pick 6 things that we talked about this morning that make you who you are.
Desire will put her name to the poem when it's done, but there are many authors to her story today. But first of all, about the name, Desire. She used to go by Desiree.
Until I got someone that told me one day that my name was so beautiful, and then I was like, oh, okay, and I started going by Desire.
Whatever she calls herself, she calls Stephen Dozer her mentor. And when a young person calls you her mentor,
you're the go-to guy.
From day one when I met her, I walked away and I said, that's a special child, and she's fighting some challenges. She's standing up under a lot of pressure in the home.
A home life that some would say wasn't as supportive as it could have been, and there was some trouble with the law.
How I got in trouble was by engaging myself in a crowd that I normally didn't, getting caught up in the whole high school drama, and I was taking partake in a altercation, in a fight, and so I was charged with the assault 4.
And that brought Dawn Nanini into her life. Dawn's another author in Desire's story.
I'm an educational employment specialist with juvenile court. I actually am housed out here at the Youth Source in Renton, which is part of a collaborative project with King County Education Employment Resources and juvenile court together.
Thanks.
Desire was referred to Dawn by her probation officer. The specific grant that makes this possible is aimed at youth like Desire. It's called South King County EET. Dawn is Desire's case manager.
She is a really likable girl.
Dawn says Desire is able to express herself far better than your typical 16-year-old. She says maybe that's because of the adversities Desire's been through, her home life, the assault charge.
At the same time, I think she's really a young woman that is kind of on the brink. She's starting to realize what she's capable of, and she's starting to see a future for herself that maybe a year ago she didn't know was there. And sometimes she's really excited about that, and she's going forward, 150%. And sometimes she gets scared, and she pulls back. So I see her as the kind of young person that we should really invest in, because she's so bright and so capable. And I don't see that she has had a lot of other people helping her to realize that about herself.
And finally, there's one last author in Desire's story, Anita Whitfield, the owner of this Renton consignment store.
They have a premium because they're older, but it also means we have to take more time looking at the details.
Anita provided a job for Desire on the sales floor.
Considering those, which one do you think might be worth that amount? Probably, yeah.
These ones.
I think that's right. She's smart, committed. She has plans for her future, dreams.
Anita Whitfield admits Desire is working in the right place. At a consignment store, they see value in that which may have been overlooked.
I have found in having young folks work here that not only have we as a society often overlook their value, but they often miss the value, their own self-worth.
So what has Desire learned in all of this? What advice would she give to someone who's run into obstacles?
I would tell them to not give up and to probably step out of their comfort zone a little.
What's Desire's story all about?
I am from dreams and aspirations. I am from a fairy tale that I never believed would be a reality. Hoping one day I would wake up from a dream and it would be my reality.
Not every poem has to rhyme.
No, it doesn't. Unlike my life situation, it all didn't make sense at first. And so it's a story that I can tell, and it makes a lot of sense at the end of the journey.
And Desire Lyons is just getting started. I'm John Yeager for King County at your service.
Alternative energy, habitat restoration, green industries that promise to create new jobs. This community program is designed to help kids tap into those jobs and create their own green future.
And basically the idea is that we're going to lay this in the stream.
For over a decade, scientists have been collecting bugs in King County streams. It's called the benthic macroinvertebrate sampling program. Not everyone knows what that means.
Benthic means bottom, macro means you can actually see it with the naked eye, and invertebrate means it's an animal without a backbone.
You clean everything off the rock because there's all sorts of little bugs that stick to the rocks.
The diversity of organisms they find helps determine the health of the stream.
So maybe we find some stoneflies, mayflies, caddisflies, some worms, some midges, some mussels, things like that. If it's really diverse, that means that it's probably pretty close to pristine and it's really healthy.
They look like spiders. Like water spiders.
Today, the team is also doing some teaching. Students from King County's Youth Source Summer Water Resource class are getting a close-up, hands-on look at what water quality means.
When we went to the Cedar River watershed to find out where your drinking water comes from.
The program that we're doing is called Water Quality, and it's not just about water. We do stuff like, we learn about the environment, you know, stuff like that. So it's cool stuff.
Like when we also did stuff that had to do with recycle and going to the landfills and knowing where your garbage goes to. Like, I never knew all that before.
For several weeks in summer, students combine classroom instruction with on-site activities.
Has everybody looked at this guy under the scope? He's pretty cool.
Learning about it first and then researching it, then coming out here and seeing all the things that we took so much time learning and researching, it actually sinks in more as far as learning and remembering goes.
Which one do you think it is here?
Students sign up for the class through their case managers or probation counselors. They get high school science credit, gain some work experience, and even get paid.
And it's a really good partnership with the King County Natural Resources Department. So students that are kind of interested in learning more can get an opportunity, you know, to hopefully go on in the field or, you know, just kind of have an idea of what kind of careers are out there in the science field.
We're going to look at the riparian habitat, the vegetation, the stream bank itself, and we'll actually even look at the rocks.
They can learn a little bit about science in the day. They can understand that there are jobs and careers playing in streams, getting dirty and getting muddy, and just kind of exposing them to something that maybe they haven't seen in their life otherwise.
Yeah, 79 feet.
Given the kind of trajectory that they come from in urban, city environment, and for them to take an appreciation for the importance of water, and the kind of engagement that the county is giving the students, I think is very powerful.
Where our water source comes from in the fact that if we keep using so much water at uneven rates that eventually we'll run out of fresh water.
Through teaching, the research team is learning some lessons as well.
2, 3, bugs!
And that may benefit water quality for all of us. The program is a partnership between King County Superior Court, Employment and Education Resources, the Department of Natural Resources and Parks, and the Highline School District.
Okay, so now we've got you thinking about the environment and taking care of the planet, right? Well, one of the ways to contribute is to use natural gardening techniques. Rick Van Sice tells us about a new website designed to help.
You want a luscious lawn and robust plants, but how do you grow them safely with garden products that won't harm you and your family? Now, that answer is as quick as a click to this new website from King County.
Because a lot of times people care about the environment and they care about places where their kids and their pets play. So it's great to have a resource that you can use to make sure you're making the safest choices possible.
That new resource is the Grow Smart, Grow Safe website. It's an online tool to help you make safe decisions about the garden chemicals and pesticide products you're buying.
When I end up in the store in the pesticide aisle, it's completely overwhelming. There's tons of products, lots of choices. It's hard to tell them apart. There's a lot of information there on the labels, but it's small print, it's difficult to read and difficult to understand. And if you're trying to make comparisons between one thing and another, it's a hard thing to do in the store.
Working with garden experts here and in Thurston County and Portland, King County looked at chemical content of hundreds of products being sold in Washington and Oregon to compile an easy online guide.
And Grow Smart, Grow Safe is a list of products that is ranked from the safer things at the top to things that might have more environmental or health concerns near the bottom of the list.
A smartphone app will allow you to take the list right to the store. But what if you don't want to use any chemicals? Can you still garden successfully in the Northwest?
It's always safest to garden without pesticides, and so Grow Smart, Grow Safe also has a lot of tips and resources for using natural yard care, pesticide-free gardening, soil building, tons of resources that can help you just go out into the world and know you can garden without using pesticides at all.
Check out this great new online gardening tool, growsmartgrowsafe.org from King County, always at your service.
Many low-income homeowners struggle with repair bills. Well, here's a story about a county program that's helping to fix pipes, mend roofs, and make homes more accessible. In many ways, it's changing lives.
A long walk outside.
Okay, let's go.
A simple pleasure that Shawn Price and her son Elijah truly treasure.
Yesterday we were out for like an hour and a half, and yeah, we go out every day. And I love you. Mwah. Okay?
Elijah suffers from a rare form of muscular dystrophy. Shawn is his sole caretaker. At 24 years old, he weighs just 50 pounds, but even his slight frame feels like a mountain when faced with these.
She was having to deal with taking Elijah in and out of the house by herself, and had no ramp, just had concrete steps going into the house.
So I would take him out of the wheelchair, pick him up, and carry him up the stairs. You have to do it, you know, so I took muscle relaxers and I would just do it. It was a lot of pain, but, you know.
But now walks have become much easier.
Let's go, because this is like the cool dude day outside.
This ramp was specially designed for Elijah.
It's a beautiful ramp. I'm like, gosh, it's actually, it contributes to the house.
Shawn got help with the project from King County's Housing Repair Program.
We like to say we fix broken things. A lot of leaky roofs, leaky pipes, electrical systems, flooring, anything that's basically broken or not functioning as it should.
Since 1978, the program has been helping thousands of low to moderate income people maintain their homes. The county uses funds from the Department of Housing and Urban Development, or HUD. Qualification is based on income. Homeowners are given no-interest loans and no payments are due until the house is sold. Many program participants are senior citizens living on fixed incomes and can afford home repair bills.
When someone knocks on your door and says, you know, we're here to help you, and then we can, using the resources we have. One of the best aspects, you get to meet people like Shawn and Elisha, and they're very inspirational.
My entire left side was shorter than the other. And so now it's actually normal. I looked in the mirror and I said, wow. And so, yeah, it's a lot better. I feel a lot better. There, that was a good walk.
To find out more about King County's Housing Repair Program, call 206-263-9095 or visit online at kingcounty.gov/housing-repair.
Thanks for joining us for King County at your service. I'm Tonya Mosley. Please visit us online at kingcounty.gov/KCTV. See you next time.